Thank you for joining me today on Paint a Beautiful Picture. This is episode number 277, Love is Kind. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which is the love chapter in the Bible, it talks about love. It says so many things, but this is how it begins. Love is patient. Love is kind. I always say, okay, let's stop right there. If I got those first two things down, I mean, if I were always patient and always kind, I would pretty much think that I was amazing at loving other people. I'm not dismissing the rest of God's conversation with us. Trust me about this. But what I'm saying to you is, because I was raised in a really abusive household, kind, at least for much of my life, has not been my go-to emotional response to challenges. So I'm going to start right off with the question today. How are you at being kind? Kindness cannot be overrated. Occasionally we'll see a bumper sticker and it says, practice random acts of kindness. I have a son who is incredibly good at this, amazingly good at this. Everywhere he goes, and I'm not kidding, I've been watching him for 40 plus years of his life, and he's done this since he was a kid. He will say such kind things to people. Oh, I really like your earrings. Man alive, that's a great looking shirt. Those are the coolest shoes I ever saw. That is such a cute backpack. He just does this constantly. He will say kind things to people, not flattering, not in a way like, wow, that's really cool. And no, I'm talking really specific, very kind things to people. He will sometimes say to someone, you just have the most beautiful skin. Or, I really love your hair, to a girl with wildly, curly, carrot colored hair. He just goes so far out of his way to be very kind to other people. Sometimes in a restaurant, he'll say to someone, you are great at your job. You are such a good waiter. You are a really good waitress. You took great care of us, and it was just really nice to have you wait on us today. Are you kind? Notably, are you kind to the people that you say that you love? Are you kind to your children? When they really mess up, they bring home a report card and you just want to scream because you spent hundreds of hours, or so it would seem anyway, helping them with their homework, and they still got a D minus in algebra, and you can't even understand how that happened, and you want to go off and rage and scream and act like a jerk, basically. Are you kind? Do you say, we worked so hard on this. I know that you worked hard on this too. It must be so disappointing to get a grade like that. Maybe we need to do something a little more. Maybe you actually need a tutor, or maybe you're just really not cut out for this at this point. Maybe you need to take algebra next year. I don't know, but we really need to find a solution for you, because I'm sure this is discouraging. I mean, first of all, after your kid faints on the floor, and you might have to pick him up and do some resuscitation, but after that, maybe your child will see you or understand you in a different light if you've always been the parent who goes off and acts like a fool after looking at a grade like that. If your child ran and ran and ran and shot hoops and really prepared and actually tried out for the basketball team, got brave even though he's only 5'4", but he doesn't get on the team, are you kind? Do you say, you know what, let's go out for pizza? And I don't care about this. I realize it's so important to you, but I love you whether you're on the team or not. And I'll even learn how to shoot some hoops with you, or we'll find you a community league that you can play on. I recognize how sad it must be for you. And maybe even frustrating and angry that you invested all that time and all that energy to get good, and you are good. And I'm not sure what your coach was thinking, but I'm really sorry for this. So we're going to go out and celebrate you anyway. Maybe not the exact day they didn't get chosen. That might not be the day. But a day or two later, we're going to go out and celebrate you and all the great things that you do have in your life. And I'm going to celebrate the fact that you're a wonderful kid, and I'm so thankful you're my kid. When your daughter tries out for the high school musical, and she has a beautiful voice, and she's had dance lessons her entire life, and some girl who croaks like a frog, let's be truthful, for some political reason, and God help us all, there are plenty of political reasons in drama, got the part. And your daughter's so depressed, crying, and oh, and you want to say, well, get over it, and come on, there'll be other plays. And you know what? That's not kind. So you put your arms around her, you let her cry, and you let her rage, and you let her talk about how unfair, which it is, and you just let her know, honey, you are so beautiful, and you have the most lovely voice. Again, maybe we'll try to get you involved in community theater. I can honestly tell you, I know a young woman like this. Beautiful young woman, amazing voice. She couldn't get a part to save her life, and it did have to do with a lot of prejudice in the drama coach. There were just things. So her mom got her really involved in community theater. And what do you know? The mom got involved in community theater too. They had such a blast together for like 5 seasons. They did all sorts of things together. But it began with kindness of, honey, I know this is really sad and it really is unfair. I'm not going to go down there and raise Cain, although I want to tell you that you want to be with me tomorrow because we're going to talk about fighting about some things. But I'm talking about the kindness to your child. So you show that child deep, deep kindness. All right. Now, what if it really is something they did, something that was their own fault? They went out on a date or they went out with their friends and they were careless and they got into a wreck and they really tore up your car and you want to tear them apart because it was so unnecessary. It's going to cost so many thousands of bucks and your insurance is going to go up. And hey, I'm a parent. I totally get this. Can you be kind? Can you be kind enough to say, yeah, I remember when I was young, I got into a couple of really stupid accidents being careless. I know you're scared I'm going to ground you for life and raise Cain and scream and have a fit. And I know because that's normally how I would react. And let me tell you, that's kind of how I want to react. But that's not going to help anything. It's not going to change what already happened. It isn't going to help you. It isn't going to help me. It isn't going to help our family. So I'm working at being a better parent, and let me tell you, I'm upset. I really am upset, okay? But I am practicing self-control, and I am talking to you in a way to let you know that you are valuable and important to me. And though I'm disappointed about some of the choices you've been making, I love you. I'm thankful you are safe. I'm thankful nobody got hurt at all. Cars, we can fix and replace. You are irreplaceable, and you are so important to me. I just need you to know that's the message that I need you to get in all of this. That is kind. You have an adult child, and they're going through some things, and they did it themselves. You could do the whole, I told you never to marry that guy. I told you that that chick was a loser. Yeah, you can do that. Oh, you can even do that to your mate, just so you know. But we're talking about adult children. I told you that 3 kids was more than you could handle. I tried to warn you. Do you know what? None of this is kind. And very honestly, none of this is helpful. And none of this is going to bring you to a better relationship with your child. In fact, it might pull you apart. This is up to you. Okay? As I've often said, sometimes the most difficult people to parent are young adults because now they are autonomous. They make independent decisions, and some of those decisions, and yet they get to make them. And then you've got to live with them and deal with them, and that's very tough. But being supportive, being kind, it's a big deal. So you can say, it breaks my heart that this guy hurt you, that he up and left you, and I'm so sad to see this because I know how much it hurts. That's kind. You can do it. You can. Honey, I'm really sorry that you found out that your wife was having an affair. I can't even imagine how painful that is. And I recognize that you still love her. If you choose to go to counseling and work this through, I am 100% supportive of that because I know how important your marriage is to you. That is kind. I didn't say being kind was easy. That's why I started to tell you in the very beginning. For me, I think that if I could just get down, love is patient, love is kind, I would be getting quite a ways down the road. That is entirely up to you. You have control over your spirit, over your thoughts, and over what's coming out of your mouth, and over your actions. Are you kind? Are you showing kindness to your family, to your children, to those whom you say you love? Please learn kindness. Sometimes kindness might just be a hand on the back of your friend after a really tough practice where the coach was all over them. You don't have to say anything, just a hand. Sometimes kindness is words. Sometimes kindness is a statement of compassion and support. Sometimes kindness is silence and just being there. Sometimes kindness is a very strong action, and we will talk about that tomorrow. Thank you so much for being with me today on Paint a Beautiful Picture. Please go be kind to one another. You may find additional information on our paintabeautifulpicture.com website. Additionally, you may watch me on Rumble, and you may also listen to a podcast on Buzzsprout or Spreaker, all under the name Paint a Beautiful Picture. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You may subscribe, and if you are interested in receiving notifications, please hit the notifications button.